I told myself I would not do any more videos based on trailers alone. I stopped doing that with Star Wars and really just about everything because 9 times out of 10 I think that maybe I might be in the wrong. I don't think I am with Birth of the Dragon, for example, which is coming out the end of August of 2017. But I said, well, when it comes to remakes in particular, maybe, films that are not sequels or remakes, I can, talk about them, the trailers anyway. And maybe if I ever see the film, review it. But with remakes, I thought, no, because, it just, there are just some things that you can't remake. Well, we have Death Wish. It's a remake. I had heard that Sylvester Stallone, back in the day in 2006, on The View, he discussed the possibility of remaking Death Wish and directing it and starring in it. Even then I thought, let's not mess with this. There have been 4 sequels to Death Wish. Also, the novel, which was originally the original novel by Brian Garfield, who wrote a sequel novel called Death Sentence. That book, Death Sentence, was also made into a movie, not Death Wish 2 with Charles Bronson, but Kevin Bacon in the role of Paul, but I'm not sure. I've never seen Death Sentence. But I have seen the original Death Wish film with Charles Bronson, and the thing about that movie in particular is that although some have characterized the film as embracing the notion of being a vigilante in the streets of New York, I'm not sure that I think the character was hesitant at first, had conflicts about it, but went through with it. But it wasn't exactly an exploitation movie. So, the chilling last scene of the film is where Charles Bronson's at an airport. He's told, the character Paul Kersey, sorry for spoiling a 43-year-old movie, but here we go. He sees a couple of hoodlums, I guess in his mind he sees them, and he points his finger at them, and that's the chilling last shot of the original Death Wish. Well, they've remade the movie. And to make matters worse, Eli Roth is directing this movie. Eli Roth, who did Hostel. Not the first director I would think of with doing something like this. Back in the day of the original Death Wish, one of the directors considered was Sidney Lumet. Look how far we've come. Bruce Willis is in this movie. Now, I didn't even know this was a thing until I heard about it yesterday from my friend George Rother, who is a film critic who certainly goes to see all these new releases all the time, every week. I said, Bruce Willis, this has got to be a gag, right? Bruce Willis? Yes. So Bruce Willis is now a doctor in Chicago who becomes a vigilante when his wife is murdered and his daughter is brutally attacked by thugs. They also introduce a character which I'm not sure was ever in the original at all, Frank Kersey, Paul Kersey's younger brother, played by Vincent D'Onofrio. Dean Norris is the detective on the case, I guess, trying to find out who is this guy. Now, based on the trailer, he's wearing a hoodie, and he goes out and he starts shooting people. And it reminded me right away of Bruce Willis from M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable, except, in that film, that was a little bit different. He tried to save people. Here, he's shooting people left and right. Why is this a thing? Why is Bruce Willis in this? And the trailer attempts to take this project and trivialize it by showing the humor. Like, for example, he sees a therapist in one shot that they show, Willis's Dr. Paul Kersey, who's now a doctor. The original Paul Kersey was an architect. And he sees a therapist, and it ends with, well, you seem happier. Yes, being more social? Yeah. What is this movie? This is a joke. This can't be real, but it is. It's a new Death Wish movie. A remake nobody asked for, except for the studio. MGM, no less, that's distributing it. Production company's Cave 76. I never heard of it. The writer of this film shall we? Joe Carnahan. Now, Joe Carnahan has written films that don't really exactly say, yes, this is the screenwriter we want. Blood, Guts, Bullets and Octane, Narc, Smokin' Aces, the A-Team remake. I think he was also involved and wrote and directed some episodes for The Blacklist. But judging by the trailer for Death Wish, the whole thing is a joke. And this looks like it embraces the vigilantism. There was just no reason to do this. None. No reason whatsoever to remake Death Wish. No reason. This may also be, interestingly enough, I think, the first remake of a Charles Bronson movie. I mean, let's hope nobody thinks of remaking The Evil That Men Do, Conchetti, Forbidden Subjects, some really charming movies that he had made. But this was an actor who had appeared in so many different types of films, Death Wish being one of them. And I can guarantee you that in the remake of this movie, which I will not see in theaters, unless the critics lavish a lot of praise on it, and audiences too, I can guarantee you there won't be a scene that you saw in the original Death Wish where Paul Kersey, after shooting a thug, throws up in the bathroom of his apartment. That's what added the hesitation, the feeling that he wasn't doing the right thing. But then he continues to do it. But it wasn't one after another. It just... I don't know what's going on here. Some people have said on Twitter, there's a Twitter war over this movie because it's a white guy shooting people in Chicago, the thugs, this is an alt-right movement type thing. I think that's going way overboard because evidently these people who are saying these things, leveling those type of ridiculous, stupid criticisms based on something they haven't really even seen yet because it's just a trailer, so we gotta be fair. There have been so many vigilante movies in the past. Robert Forster was in a movie called Vigilante from 1983, a terrible film. The Executioner. There's just so many from just back in the 80s. Nobody leveled that sort of criticism towards those type of movies. The original Death Wish is, or at least was, a controversial film for what it was that it showed. But, and the themes in it. But, there was no reason to do this. None. This is just a money grabber. And the thing is, although there's nothing wrong technically with remaking certain movies, unless you make them better. They're not going to make it better. There's no way Eli Roth's Death Wish movie is going to be better than the original film. Not even by a mile. And what really angered me was the fact that, again, it's just the trailer, to be fair, but he seems very lively and exuberant, and it's almost like the character Bruce Willis is playing is a Paul Kersey from Die Hard. Not the Paul Kersey that we associate with Charles Bronson. It's a hyped-up action movie, which is not what the original Death Wish film was. Not even by a little stretch was it anything close to that. This is just a trailer, but I have a feeling I am right on this one. This is Jerry Saravia at the movies. Signing off.